Gary's Tour fans. It's about 6:15 a.m. We're in the lobby of the Domus Giotto, spelled with a C, hotel. This is the middle room out there. That's the night porter, enjoying a cigarette. What time do you open the door?
Yes.
Is the door open?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Electronically locked doors. It says the door's open. Oh, we'll see. Close the door because he likes it closed by now. Serious door. Sounds serious at least. So now, what we're going to endeavor to do is walk around Venice before the tourists are up and before the tour ships unload their hordes of thousands of tourists on Venice. So almost everything's closed. I've noticed that all the expensive stores and every major brand name, the designer store is in fact here. They don't open till anywhere near 10 o'clock. It's casual. In some cities, stores often open at 8 o'clock, and workers go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. This is an antique store, an art store. But in Venice, it seems like store opening and closing is more casual, that people open their store usually around 10, somewhere between 9:30 and 10:30. Apparently, much of the year it's quite humid here too, because you're surrounded by water. Look what they see. This is how they screen away everything at night so it's not stolen. I smell coffee and food being made. This gentleman's opening his store, getting ready. This gentleman's putting out utensils on trays, and this is 6:15 approximately. The street sweeper is happily sweeping the street. And look at this place. This is what Venice looks like at 6 in the morning without any tourists around. There's a real estate company there. This gentleman's getting ready for his breakfast crowd at the Hotel Santo Stefano. There's lots of small private hotels here. And if I was coming here, I think I wouldn't be afraid to try them. Pardon my cough, I thought something wrong. Let's see who this statue is about. We normally wouldn't have time to do this during the day, but now, this time. Looks like someone has laid a wreath on here to commemorate something. Hopefully they didn't cover up the information about who this person was, or who the statue's about. But we will see. Here's a name plaque. This is sort of illegible. Looks like Duri Banger. Whoever that is. And it has the date. And he's looking down at us all. I'd say something around probably the 1500s. Isn't this beautiful though? Now I'm not using Google Maps today. So I'm trying to find out the right street to take. She's using Google Maps. I think. That's not the right street. One of these is the right street. It brings you to the San Marco. Piazza San Marco. Ah, here's the road. Here's the street that takes you. They call it a calle. I guess a calle is another name for a street. Calle del Spezzer. Spezzimer. I did very badly in languages. We have to go over 5 or 6 little canals. Let's peek in here. This is another hotel, and this looks like the dining room or the restaurant. This is a Venetian woman ahead of us who's cleaning the windows in her store. It's an art store. Isn't that cool? Great painting. I like this painting where they modified the look of the buildings to make them look like they're separate and apart. Very cute. Good morning to you. See what happens when you don't know the language? A lot harder to meet people when you don't know their language. This is a canal. We have a partially blue sky today. That's also nice. Bonjour. Bonjour. Bonjour, that's what I'm supposed to say. Bonjour. He didn't talk either. In Ireland, they say hello. And here's Il Paparo. Paper. He makes paper products with a flavor of San Marco. And jogging here could be a little hazardous for your health. It'd be easy to have a sneaker get caught in one of these stones and you take a header, I'd say. This is a covered item, but that was a well in the center of these squares. That was how the people got water at some earlier point in time. They would go to the community well and get their water there. This is Scholar S. Zachariah. Be a scholar. He's an artist. Some of these look quite interesting to me. This is a Venice gallery. Unusual artwork. Jewelry store. Wine shop. Ice cream store. Not open yet. Now we have to go over another canal to get to the Piazza San Marco. It's about a 11-minute walk. I decided I want to show it to you when it's not full of people. He's making sandwiches. Hi. These are the sandwiches you can get, and the pastries you can get. I try to avoid bread most of the time. Here's another very shallow canal. Look at that. They don't have a flooding problem here. That canal is almost too shallow for a gondola to go in. Tells me it's low tide. I guess the tide here is probably 3 or 4 feet. Looking at where the markings are. Hi. So the street cleaners are up. Another wine store. This is a distillery. What do they make? Looks like wine, maybe it's liquor, I'm not sure. Pulley. And here's another canal. Look how shallow the canal is. You can see the bottom. I guess this is low tide. Well, 6 hours, the tide will be higher. Very low tide, and it smells not good. We're getting closer to the Piazza San Marco. Today, in another video, we'll be taking you to the Tower of San Marco, where you're supposed to have the best view of all of Venice. Here's another square. So the place is built with squares in the center of a landmass. And around the edges of the landmass, they build homes. And as you can see, we're going to be going over yet another canal. And these are all sort of separate islands. Micro-mega. Il Prato. Another antique or art gallery. And here's another. Another canal. I envy people who speak multiple languages. Sadly, I do not. People can open their door and get right into a boat. Or call a boat and have it come to them. This is a Gonzales servant. Gondola SM del Gregorio. This is an interesting looking store. These scary masks. I wonder under what circumstances they use these masks. And instruments. leather gloves. Smooth gloves. They look pretty. Now, we're coming out with, sadly, the sun is up, but I'm happy to see the sun, even though we're shooting right into the sun. And here we have the start of really cool stores. That's Long Shop. This is Roger Bureau in Paris. This is Anthony Morris. Contini. Looks like large objects of art. Ancient objects of art. Giorgio Armani. That's a famous brand name. Giorgio Armani. Armani. Armano Servino. Rene Catvia. Very unusual shoes. Somebody tells me that the prices here are probably relatively high. And here is a Pomeletto jewelry store, and the jewelry's been removed from the window. So. And here's Saint Laurent. And here are men building a scaffolding. Is DG Dolce Gabbana. Lots of DG purses can be seen. La Farmacia Internationale. Gucci. Gucci has a big store. Big presence here. There's a Gucci outfit. Skirts seem a little short now. Gucci is presenting. Ferragamo store. All the best big names are here. Monsieur, never heard of them. Young bride and groom looks like just got married. So a lot of that happens here. People come to Venice, I guess, to get married because they feel it's really romantic here. Now here the water's a little higher, even though there's low tide. I'd say if this is dead low, which it may be, you have about a 4-foot tide here, which is probably accurate. The higher north you go in parallels, the more drastic the effect of the moon is. This building, which is covered in cloth all the way to the top, it's going to be a Novo Aparte, new opening, Teresa Golf Course, Teresa Rooftop, vistas spectacular, breathtaking views in a rooftop garden. We're able to create a place of infinite well-being exclusively for you. I assume it's going to be an apartment building. It's all going to be brand new. They hide the exterior of it while they're working on it. This is a church that we entered yesterday and lit a candle. Prada, Versace, Valentino. Prada has a big store. What's Prada featuring these days? Bags. Also short skirts. Sort of mid-thigh. That's where the skirts, skirt lines are falling these days. Here's how they want Prada men to dress. Bottega Veneta. Bottega Veneta. Cartier, of course. Cartier doesn't even want you looking inside their store. Balenciaga. Balenciaga. I've never heard of these brands. Maybe you have. These are Balenciaga purses. Then we have Louis Vuitton. I'm very familiar with Louis Vuitton. My daughter has taken lots of money from me to spend in Louis Vuitton when she was young. Beautiful store. And Jimmy Choo. I do not know who Jimmy Choo is, but I think I've heard the name. And of course Dior. We love Dior products. Another Saint Laurent store. Hermes. I'm not sure who Hermes is. Hermes. And who's this? Loro Piana. A different look. And Bucatelli. And Fende, Roma. Fende store. I've heard of Fende. And of course, Chanel. And their famous perfumes and bags. American Express and Alitalia Italian Airlines support this. Now we're entering the Piazza San Marco. Here's a little map they give you, what you're allowed to do and what you can't. Looks like construction is taking place here as well. I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm sure they're going to make it look better. I've heard you're not allowed to sit here. So that if you sit around, the police will come and stop you. They don't want to have large numbers of kids, usually, sitting around. And in about 2 hours, what you see here will be filled with people. It'll be wall-to-wall people, tourists all galore, and you're getting probably the most empty view of this. These are all museums that you can visit while you're here. They probably, if I had to guess, at one point in time were part of the local government. Now they're museums. This is the famous bell tower we'll be visiting today. Okay, let's see what we see now. A lot of street cleaner people. Let's take some still photos of this too while we're here.